Can you be friends after a breakup? Keep watching to find out. I'm your host, Venus O'Hara, and I'll be accompanying you on this pathway to pleasure. So, can you be friends with your ex? Well, it's not a yes or no answer. Let's take a deep dive into breakups. A breakup is very painful, mostly. It's painful because it mattered. It's painful because this person who was part of your life, your day-to-day, your future plans is no longer part of your life, no longer part of your routines, and also that shared future that you envisioned no longer exists. Losing all of those things can be incredibly painful, especially as it can shake up your identity. Imagine if you did everything with this person. Imagine if you did everything together. You had so many plans and even shared friends and hobbies, and you were part of their circle and they were part of yours. Undoing all of that can be incredibly, incredibly painful. But don't lose hope. Even though this is a very difficult thing to go through, often a breakup can be a breakthrough. Oh yeah, keep watching to find out how. But before we get to that point, let's go over some do's and don'ts about what to do after a breakup. Breakups are never easy. If you're the person who made the decision, it's not easy. Often that can be a very courageous thing to do because it means that you are taking action after a long time of increasing dissatisfaction with that relationship. And maybe you lost hope a long time ago before the breakup, but then you stayed in it because of habit. You didn't really know, or maybe you just had hope that things could get better and they didn't. Or perhaps the decision was made for you and you didn't want it to end. That can be incredibly painful as well. And if that's the case, you have to accept the decision of your now ex and respect their decision and not try and beg them to get back with you. I believe that time is the greatest healer, and it really is. And to get to a point of healing, it's not always linear. Things do improve, but perhaps you're okay some days and then suddenly there's a reminder of that person, the song you listen to, or something that they've forgotten in your apartment, and that can really throw you off. Either way, it's really important to have lots and lots of self-compassion as you grieve your relationship and your ex. And if necessary, it's also good to reach out to your support system and talk to trusted friends about how you're feeling. I would just suggest choosing those trusted friends very, very carefully and making sure that they are able to hold space for you and offer you the support that you need. And if they can't, maybe you could turn to a professional. Often when people go through breakups, they're very tempted to go into self-destruction mode, go out, pretend everything's okay, and drink, party, maybe have some flings with other people. But I think it's probably best to actually do the opposite and really go inwards and amplify your self-compassion, your self-care, and your self-love rituals. This is a time where you really need to love yourself so much. And know that even though your relationship ended, that does not mean that you are unlovable. It just means that that relationship wasn't quite right for you. Maybe there is someone else in your future who is going to be more aligned to your future self and where you want to be in the future. It might not seem like that today, but I promise you, you will get there. Something I really recommend is doing no contact. There's lots and lots of content online about no contact. And no contact means exactly that. No calling, just no contact, no coffees, no chats, no catch-up calls, no social media contact, literally having no contact with your partner. And I know it's really, really, really hard to do that, especially if you've had daily contact with that person and suddenly there's no contact. But it's the best thing to heal, I promise you. But one thing about no contact is that many, let's say, breakup coaches or breakup influencers, yes, that exists, I can't believe it myself, but often they make this content that's giving you a false sense of hope about no contact, saying this is the best way to get your ex back because you're putting all your energy into yourself, which is going to inspire them to get back into contact with you when they don't receive your energy anymore. I think this could be true in some cases, But the point of no contact is actually for your healing. And even if you do get together in the future, it's unlikely, but if you do, you still have to go through that phase of healing. It's super, super important. And get back to yourself, because often when you're in a relationship, your energy is going outward to the person, to the relationship and this future that you are constructing together. And suddenly, when you do no contact, you're taking all that energy back to yourself, all that love for yourself. And even though you might not want to do that, that might be counterintuitive, it really is the best thing for you to do. It's also a good idea to actually establish some boundaries with your ex about no contact and agree mutually to not contact each other. You might want to block them as well on social media, because maybe seeing them online could actually trigger you, and it might set you back on your healing journey. So I think it's a good thing to establish mutually, and then it's really important to also honor and respect that. Let's go into some don'ts. If you don't do no contact, and you remain in this ambiguous situation of sharing feelings and sadness and occasional contact, maybe a bit less, that can give you false hope about rekindling the relationship. Also, it sends a message to yourself about, I am not worthy of being chosen, almost, or I'm not worthy of... I think everyone deserves to be in a relationship with someone who is sure about them, who is choosing them. That's so important. And that's why self-love is the best way to heal from a breakup, because the more you love yourself and you value yourself, you will know that you deserve someone who really wants to be with you. No halfway measures, all in or nothing. And now some don'ts. Don't break no contact. That's super, super important. Maybe when you establish the no contact, you can set an amount of time perhaps, but in general, no contact should be something that is pretty much, I would say, pretty semi-permanent until the wounds are fully healed. And there's no real set amount of time for that to happen. One affirmation I really love is don't chase, attract. That's super, super important. Don't chase your ex. Don't beg for another chance. Don't stalk their social media. Don't jump into a relationship too soon. And don't isolate yourself either. It's good to spend some time on your own, but don't be a stranger to your friends. Your friends are really going to be important for you in this difficult process. So can you be friends with your ex once the wounds are healed and time has passed? I think rather than being friends, you can be friendly. And that's a very different thing. Also, that depends on what the relationship was like and how the ending was. Sometimes the relationship, if it was toxic, then definitely no way would you want to be friends with someone like that. That's even more reason to actually focus on self-love and self-care, because what usually happens when you start to increase your self-love is that you will have higher standards for your next relationship, and you'll look back on that past relationship thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I accepted those things, because I know I am worthy of so much more, because you are. It's also not a good idea to be friends if you still want to get back with them. Unless it's a mutual thing, of course, because that can happen sometimes. Because maybe, let's say you were in a relationship where it wasn't the right time for whatever reason, and then suddenly the timing does become right for both of you. But those situations are few and far between. They do exist, but for the most part, when you break up, that's it really. Yeah. And if you're shining a light for this person, you're not really going to move on. And it's so important to move on, because otherwise you're going to be having hope for this to get back with them, and it never really happens, and meeting them for coffee. How are you going to feel about them telling you about their new relationships? And you're like, oh, I want it to be with me. I know it's not really the best situation to be in. So if you still want to be with them romantically, do not be friends. And if the relationship was toxic, do not be friends. And if being friends is stopping you from moving on, not a good idea. When I was in my past, I used to be friendly with some exes. I even used to pride myself on my amazing memory. I have an amazing memory of remembering people's birthdays, and I would reach out and say, happy birthday, how are you? And that would trigger this kind of nostalgic catch-up call, which would go on for hours. I've done that with several exes. But over the last few years, I've decided not to do that anymore. I don't need to impress anyone about my amazing memory anymore. And I think it's respectful to their present lives and their present partners if I just stay out and let them do it. I'm grateful for those people being part of my life journey, but the past is the past, and I'm interested in the present and the future. So in short, you can be friendly, but not friends. But going back to what I said about a breakup being a breakthrough, that is so true. Use this time that you would have been with your ex to do and take this time, an opportunity to actually rediscover yourself, try new things, and maybe try new hobbies as well. You never know. You could try something that becomes a very important part of your life in the future. A film that I really love is Eat, Pray, Love, and that is a true story, and it's based on a kind of breakthrough after a divorce. And the protagonist goes to Italy to eat, India to pray, and Bali to fall in love. So it's kind of cool to actually plan something really cool for yourself, a really amazing holiday if you can. Yeah, that's such a good thing to do. So then you can get out of that environment that's reminding you of your ex and have something to look forward to. It's so important in life, especially during hard moments, to have something in your diary that you're looking forward to, something that's putting a smile on your face. And if you want to get revenge, they say the best revenge is living your best life. But do that for yourself, not to get revenge. Anyway, I wanted to share some heartbreak affirmations with you. Affirmations are powerful statements that help you to reprogram your mind and your subconscious. And if you repeat these often, it will help you feel better. Let's take a moment to take a deep breath and exhale. Close your eyes if you want to and listen to these affirmations. Repeat to yourself or out loud. I am whole on my own. This pain will pass. This pain is temporary and I will heal. I am healing every day. I deserve love that is healthy and fulfilling. I am growing, evolving, and becoming my best self. I let go of what no longer serves me, and I make room for better, bigger things that will make me incredibly happy. And when you start to feel better, something I think is really cool, a really cool exercise, is to start journaling. Journaling for me is one of the practices that helps me the most to process and uncover my emotions. I think it's a really good idea to journal about your ideal relationship, your ideal partner and ideal relationship. When I say ideal partner, I'm not saying about what they should look like and stuff, but it's more about what attributes do they have, how do they make you feel, what kind of relationship do you want to be in. Get a new notebook and really have fun with this and design your ideal future, your ideal relationship and partner. And when you start to fill the pages of this new book, you will start to see that what you're writing down is nothing like the relationship that has just ended. And that will really help you to see this relationship that's ended was not serving me, and I am so grateful that it's over. Anyway, as I said at the beginning, if you're going through this, my heart goes out to you. I promise it will get better. I hope these tips help you, and if you have any additional ones for heartbreak, please let us know in the comments below. And know that you are worthy of love, especially from yourself. Thank you for watching, and you can find our products on our website, tracysdog.com, or on Amazon.